Good morning, everybody. So today we're going to talk about hemispheres. But before we talk, we kind of look at the visuals of what hemispheres are. I actually want to do something right now, which is, oops, let me go this way. Here we are. And I've actually divided our word into two words because both words have their individual meaning, and when it comes together like a compound word, right, we get the whole meaning of it. So it just bear with me for a second here. Let me show you what I mean. There we go. So the word hemi means half, like a half of something. Um, a half of a pizza, half of a dollar. It's a half. And the word sphere, which obviously you know about already, but I just want to point it out, right? In a way, we could say, well, a sphere is what's the best? It's a ball, right? Think of it as a ball. It's a three-dimensional round object. So when we talk about a hemisphere, we talk about half of that of a ball, right? Oh, so now I would like to bring this word back together because um, misspelling something on purpose is very tough. So here we go. Now we have hemispheres. So we're going to be talking about hemispheres and our Earth. Yeah, let's go. So I'm going to first sort of draw our Earth here a little bit, just like that. I think I like that. And now you will notice that it's not a circle. I did not choose the circle tool. I chose this one. And there's a very good reason for that. It's because our Earth is not exactly round. It's not round like a basketball. It's not a perfect sphere. It's kind of an oblong shape, meaning that the top and bottom of the Earth are kind of squished together. And the sides are wider apart. All right, so it is wider than it is taller. I hope that makes sense. All right. Okay, so now let me go back to my drawing tool here. And what I'd like to do is I would like to put a line right through the middle of our Earth. And it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Maybe a couple clicks down. There we go. Maybe not perfect. But this line that I just drew in is going to help us to determine the northern and southern hemisphere. Okay, so our northern hemisphere is on top and our southern hemisphere is on the bottom. One easy way to remember this is think about the North Pole and think about the South Pole. Anything that is below this imaginary line here that we have is in the southern hemisphere, and anything above it is in the northern hemisphere. Now, this line that I'm talking about is a line that you're familiar with. It's called the equator. Oops, the equator. There it is. So this imaginary line, which is a line of latitude, so that's something that's going to be coming up a little later for us, but might as well start talking about it now. It's a line of latitude. And it's a latitude 0. But anyways, so the equator is a line of latitude. It's an imaginary line. You don't see it, right? But in order for us to know how to get around, how to travel, where things are, we had to make these imaginary lines all around the globe, all surrounding our Earth. Okay, so this imaginary line here divides the north and the south. We call it the equator, and it is a line of latitude. Latitude. Okay? Now, California, because after all, we're in fourth grade, and fourth grade is all about California. California is, let me see if I can draw you just a little, maybe this is not looking great. But you know what? I think it's going to work just well enough for us. So that's California right here. And let me put Palo Alto on the map, maybe a little higher. There it is. Palo Alto is that black dot. And if I were to ask you, what hemisphere is California in? You would say it is in the northern hemisphere, right? It's in the northern hemisphere. Perfect. Okay, so California, all of it is in the northern hemisphere because it is above the equator. So that's northern and southern hemisphere divided by the equator, which is a line of latitude.